beginning is down, some of those markets down 30% from June. That's huge, big moves that we're seeing. There's a lot of wealth being eradicated, and obviously there's a lot of people buying stuff in China, not just in China but all over the world. So that does stand to have an impact further on down the line. So really ugly technical signals on the US 30. It's been a long time since I've seen a candle that looks like this that we got yesterday, and today we've not seen any massive bounce on the upside. So looking at the UK 100, again, very volatile session, a very unusual candle. Still had positive territory by the end of the session, but we were all the way up here. We ended below potential support 65.59, and we're still below it right now. Looking a little bit sheepish right first thing this morning. German DAX up about 0.7%, but still it's not looking that amazing either, to be honest. Looking at Japan 225, gap down, trade closed at the bottom of its range, but not as aggressive as some of the other indices that we've seen. But we have seen a bounce of potential support at 20,087, which also coincides with that 55 period SMA, with dollar yen now down at 122. We have seen some yen buying, but not incredible amounts. Again, not a lot of safe haven buying on gold either. That's still trading below $1,200. With all this uncertainty, we would have thought that the safe havens would be getting more of a spike in the right direction, but they're not, which is quite interesting. But 121.87 is potential support, and that also will coincide with the 55 period SMA. Moving on to West Texas crude, it's all about crimped oil demand, which obviously with everything that's going on right now, that's not surprising. A move lower, $57 is the next potential support, and I think it does look quite clear that there is a short-term potential resistance at 61.80 should we get back up to there at any point soon. Moving on to gold, as I said, not really doing a huge amount, even though we did have a spike yesterday. It failed to capitalise on that move. Down again today, 11.86 is a potential support, but I think it's very interesting that yen and gold have not been huge buys with all this uncertainty that's been swirling around. So the euro, I think this is probably the biggest intraday turnaround in history on the euro dollar. I've not seen the market gap so extensively to then rally so strongly. A very strange candle again to get for a gap, and then it to close even above the previous day's candle altogether is quite incredible. Now, it's not followed through with a lot of positive momentum this morning. I think a lot of this was due to the Swiss National Bank intervening against the euro yesterday, which I think kind of saved a lot of the markets from getting completely smashed. But maybe this candle is rather artificial right now. But nevertheless, euro dollar traded below the high of the previous day, back up towards one spot 12. But we are selling off a little bit this morning, but it's not really that aggressive considering. So looking at sterling, volatile session again, but most importantly right now trading below 157.43. Next potential support, one spot 56. So in regards to economic data, we're obviously still waiting for more news about Greece. That referendum due now on Sunday, the 5th of July. They're obviously going to miss the payment for the IMF, Greece. So that's by the by. And I think with all the queues for cash machines and petrol stations and supermarkets, that any referendum is pretty much going to say yes. Well, I hope it says yes anyway, if they are going to go for a referendum, because a no vote basically would mean that Greece will leave the euro. But yes vote would mean that the current Syriza government will have to leave. And there'll be new elections, and they'll probably just be back to where they start, depending on who